together strong day in and day out. Because my concern and my fear is that the other side of the house is going to be at that every single day. We gotta stand our own and stand up to them. So I'm so honored to be here. I mean, I'm in Newark all the time. Reverend, thank you so much. Reverend Branch, thank you so much for your kind words, and all the members of the clergy, many of whom are down front here. God bless you all. Thank you for your prayers. I'm in Newark all the time. In fact, our headquarters are in Newark. And not only our headquarters, we have two headquarters in Newark. We love Newark so much. So we're at One Gateway Center on the 10th floor. Come by and say hello, Suite 1025. A little bit crowded, but come on by. And then we're down at 744 Broad. Right? Yeah. We got the chairwoman of 744 Broad. We're going to get the whole team here. And that's a nice open storefront, so come on by, learn more, follow us. If you want to keep kicking the tires on us, our website is Murphy4NJ.com. Murphy4NJ.com. I want to acknowledge there are lots of members of my team here today. I want to acknowledge Reverend Derek Green right behind me. Amen. Reverend, God bless you. Keep me in your prayers. And he's already been acknowledged, but I want to underscore freeholder Brendan Gill, who's our chief executive, is with us today. Brendan, good to have you, buddy. Standing beside his fellow freeholder Rufus Johnson over there. And I see Wayne Richardson in the corner as well with him. Kind of a freeholder cabal going on over. Let me ask you a question. Is it a quorum? Okay, I'm just checking. I'm just asking the question. If it is, we better get over there and listen up and what's going on. So I want to tell you real quick a couple of things, and I apologize. The clock is not our friend today, so I'm going to go as fast as I can, and I want to take some questions, and I promise you this. If we don't get a chance to answer your questions today, Reverend Green and Brendan and I will make sure that we get back to you somehow. So it's really important, and whatever card you give us, you tell us how we can find you. Is that okay? Okay. First, the race. The primary is June 6th, and former Mayor Sharp James, the Honorable Calvin West would be very mad at me if I didn't say, I need you. We need your help, okay? As Mayor James would say, you can't wish this to happen, you can't hope it to happen, you can't pray it to happen. All that helps. We got to get out and vote. So June 6th is primary day. So God bless you and thank you for your help. It's a competitive election. You know, I like where we are right now, but boy, we're not taking anything for granted in Donald Trump's America, right? I thought Hillary Clinton was going to get elected president. I got that one wrong. So we're taking nothing for granted. And in so many respects, as Newark goes, so goes the whole election. There's an enormous amount riding on the election generally, and in particular in this great city. And yet I've been arguing for months now. We declared 9 months ago. We've been out campaigning for 9 months. So we only got less than 4 to go. So we're, in our clock, we're three quarters of the way through this. But as we saw in football last Sunday night, the fourth quarter matters. So that's why they play the whole game. Right? So I've been saying this is the most consequential, most important election in New Jersey in 70 years. And I think it's never been more consequential, in particular in the big urban communities. And in particular in Newark, beginning with Newark. And so I want you to know I'm here literally almost every day. We care deeply about this city in so many respects. As Newark goes, so goes the state of New Jersey. And I want you to not just hear those words, but to see the actual actions that we take that underpin that. Our primary is competitive, so that's something we welcome. We've got competition. That keeps us sharp. That's another reason I need you. And the general election will be competitive. They're not going to hand this one to us. As bad as Chris Christie's been, they're going to fight. Right? And I think they'll bring he who shall not be named into campaign. So I think we should assume that Donald Trump will get into this mix somehow. That's another reason we can't take it for granted, right? Madam President, do you agree?
I agree. These are my grandchildren.
Hello. Ask them what their names are. Hello, folks. Come on down. What a lineup. I love you guys. Oh, I love that. This is the real action. In fact, I'll make a serious point about this. That's why we're in this thing. Somebody, right? Somebody first interview, first question for me was, why you? And I say, because I'll be the governor that makes decisions in every turn based on what's best for the next generation in this state, not what's best for my next election, period. We're in it for them. This is why we're here today. This is why we're here every day. That's not to say we don't have crises that we have to deal with in the here and now, but at the end of the day, we'll be judged and measured by whether or not we handed a future that was bright to those precious little things who just came through. It's the boss. Here's the mayor, Mayor Ross Brockett. Come on, man. One more time, let's hear it for the mayor, Mayor Ross Brockett. Mayor, honored to be back here with you. Honored to be here. I obviously have overdressed. I want to be wearing one of these. I missed the memo again. But that's the reason why we're in this. There's one other thing that you have to know, by the way, keep in the back of your head with the Donald Trump phenomenon. There are only 2 elections in America this year. Statewide, anywhere. Virginia and New Jersey. So there's no senators and only 2 governors. Next year, there'll be 36 governor's races in America and 34 Senate races. That's 70 statewide races next year. This year, there were 2. So getting it right first and foremost for us matters, but there's also a chance to stand up and be counted as Americans and say, actually, this is the way America should look. This is right. But I'd love Donald Trump to come into this room and just say, Mr. President, this is America. This is America. Boy, he could use a wake-up call. And by the way, our governor is right beside him every step of the way, right? These 2 are best buddies. Do you see in that refugee ban, all Chris Christie could say was, oh, it was the right idea, it was badly executed, okay? It was obviously badly executed, but let's just all bond together and say it was a dead wrong idea. It was an un-American idea. Unconstitutional. Shame on both of them. They should know better. And thank God for an independent judiciary. Thank God for the judges who stand up. Even judges, by the way, appointed by Republican presidents stood up and said, you know what, this is not how America works. Now let's talk about New Jersey for a minute. We declared our candidacy 9 months ago. And we said then, and I'll say today on February 11th, and we'll keep saying it through the election, and if we're fortunate enough to get there, the following. Number 1, we're on the outside running against failed special insider politics. The insiders who have been inside this glass bubble, led by Chris Christie, who are doing just fine at our expense. The system has failed us, up and down the state. And you see it no more clearly than you see it in the big urban communities beginning in Newark. We have not, this mayor, as good as he is, he needs a partner. He needs a governor, the council president, all the members of council, the freeholders. They're as good as there are anywhere in this state, if not beyond. But they need a partner in the governor who cares about us, who cares about this community. So this special interest politics has not cared about us. So we're on the outside running against that. Second observation, I say this all the time, the mayor's sick of hearing me say it. If we don't get the economy right, we don't get New Jersey right. Right? And if we don't get Newark right, we don't get the economy right, we don't get New Jersey right. And let me tell you something, Newark is on a roll. We got a lot of challenges. You know that better than I. But we are making one foot in front of the other. Very impressive progress. But again, the difference between making good progress and getting to the promised land is a governor who's got the back of the city of Newark and the mayor and the council. You need a partner in this. I want to be that. So when I say you got to get if we don't get the economy right, we don't get New Jersey right, it's important to say something. It's not just growing the economy, it's making it fair again. So this is an economy that's flat in New Jersey, flat as a pancake for many years, and really unfair. So we got to get back to growing the economy, growing the innovation, STEM economy. That's something we used to call our own. Remember Bell Labs and AT&T and all the bio and right, all of that? We used to have that. We let a lot of that go. Other states are cleaning our clock. We got to get that back. And again, it has huge implications for the urban centers, particularly Newark. And the other big economy we got to get going to grow again is the infrastructure economy, right? Take advantage of our God-given location. As good as located state as any of the entire 49 other states would die to be where New Jersey is. And Newark is ideally situated. Again, with the governor who sees it the same way as the mayor and council, we can make huge progress. So we can grow both of those economies, the infrastructure economy and that innovation economy. Now, where's Reverend Green? We're making a big speech on our urban city agenda on February 22. Reverend Bartley's still with us. He was? Right here, right behind me, man. I didn't see you. We're down on Hawthorne Avenue at 3 o'clock on the 22nd at the Panasonic, what's it called? The Newark Tech World. This place is rocking. Okay? So there's a reason we're going to be there on February 22nd at 3 o'clock, Newark Tech World, Hawthorne Avenue. And we're going to have a big discussion about our urban city agenda. And we're doing it there for a reason, because that's an example of the innovation economy with skills that are available for up and down the whole food chain of jobs. And there's lots of opportunities, again, if we get this right. So we got to grow the economy, but by the way, we got to make it fair again. We got to increase minimum wage to $15, right? We have to do that. We got to make sure that everybody gets earned sick leave, not just some people in the state, right? We got to make sure that we put in a child dependent care and caregiver for maybe grandmom or grandmother or mom or dad tax credit, so folks can afford to take care of their loved ones and still go to work. How about this? Equal pay for equal work. So we're in a state, by the way, where on average, a woman earns 80% of what a guy earns for the exact same work. Is that unbelievable? And if you're an African-American woman, it's 60%. If you're a Latina, it's less than 50%. That's shameful. In the year 2017, in the great state of New Jersey, we can do better than that. Right? Or how about this one? How about making college more affordable again? You know, what's a bigger tragedy? The kid who's got good grades, who's a senior in high school, who really wants to go to college and can't find the money? That's the only missing ingredient. Or the kid who graduates from a community college or a four-year college and has got a mountain of debt so big they're behind a giant 8-ball for the most important years of their lives. I think those are both tragedies, and we got to get at both of them, right? So we got to make this economy not just get growing again, but make it fair again. And it must be said, one of the great passions of my life, Julian Bond was one of my close friends. I served with great pride on the national board of the NAACP, one of the nation's great, the 108-year-old great institution, the oldest civil rights and social justice organization in the world, by the way, not just in the United States. And it must be said, not just from a perspective of running for governor, but it must be said also from a civil rights and social justice perspective, that we also live in two New Jerseys, not one, but two. And that must be said, as painful as it is, and you've forgotten more about that than I will ever know. But this is a state where the opportunities and the realities for the African American community, communities of color, are very different than those of not. It must be acknowledged the gap in incarceration rates are the widest in the country across persons of color and white. It must be acknowledged that representations in high school graduation, home ownership, business ownership, up and down the line, there's a huge gap in this state. We live in not one state, but two states. Now, I know you know that, but I want you to know that I know that too, and that I want to be the governor of the entire state of New Jersey, to close those gaps, to do everything I can to be the representative for all of us, not just some of us. In particular, is the next generation. Look at this guy right here, is Exhibit A, and his sister. We got to get this so that One of you is going to grow up to be the governor of the state of New Jersey. That's our objective. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. And you know, when Barack Obama got elected president, some folks said that was the end of history. We had accomplished all of our objectives. And he knew better. I guarantee you my friend Julian Bond knew better. You all knew better. We're still on that long road towards civil rights and social justice. As if we needed a reminder that we're not there yet, we have Donald Trump as our president. Right? So we all have to stay close on all of this. The last thing we talk about all the time is let's get back to standing for the right things again. Let's get back to having a governor that doesn't hijack what the state stands for to fit his own personal right-wing Republican national objective, but actually cares about governing and governs at the heartbeat of what this state has historically been known for. A state that funds women's health programs and takes care of women, particularly of modest means, to make sure they stay healthy. That doesn't have to be dragged kicking and screaming to put money in the lead remediation budget, where you've got so much lead, whether it's in water or in paint in this state. This is a state, by the way, with 11 communities and 2 counties with a higher percentage of kids with lead poisoning than Flint, Michigan. And yet Governor Christie had to be dragged kicking and screaming to put money against that. How about a governor, and I will be this governor, that signs sensible gun safety laws, right? Good morning. This governor has vetoed one after the other. And someone said, well, we've already gotten strong gun laws in New Jersey, and most of the guns that come in and are part of gun crimes in New Jersey come from out of state. Well, that may be true. But what if we saved even one life? Even one precious life by having a leader who accepted that guns can be safer, that we can have a better environment in gun safety. He has not been that governor. I will be that governor. You have my word on that. And we can keep going, whether it's school funding, whether it's environmental justice in urban communities, up and down. Let's get back to standing for the things that we know is in our heartbeat as a state, that we used to stand for, that we're proud to stand for. So again, if you follow us around, that's what you'll hear us saying. And that's what we'll do if we're fortunate enough to get there. We're running against failed special interest politics. Politics led by Governor Christie that doesn't care about us. Secondly, we're running to get the economy right, in particular in the big urban communities. That means growing it, that means making it more fair, and that means shrinking our state, not from 2 states, depending on your race, but to 1 state, all 9 million of us. And thirdly, you'll hear us talk about let's get back to standing for the things we used to stand for with great pride, and we'll do that. Two quick comments before I want to turn it over to Mayor Baraka. Number one, I know it won't be easy, but I'm an optimist. I really believe with all my heart, this is a great state with great prospects. It's missing only one ingredient, and that's the governor. Right? If we could, amen to that, right? Yes. So if we could do one thing, and that's why I'm here asking for your support. If there's one move we could make that would put us automatically, and I'm not saying this stuff will be easy, automatically into a better place. It's having a governor who understands how to lead, who cares about leading, not just for himself or for his buddies, but for all of us. So I'm a huge optimist. Just even with new leadership that cares, we could be in a different place. I also look at all the things that we could be doing, that we should have been doing, that we haven't even tried. There's a lot of opportunities to take steps we haven't even tried. I don't know if it's because they've been incompetent or they don't care, or all of the above. But with the right leadership and the right priorities, we could do a lot together. I'm completely convinced of that. It won't be easy. It won't be overnight, but we can make a lot of progress together. Last comment. I said this already, but I want to say it again. We're in this thing for the next generation. That's not to say there are not here and now issues that we need to address, which we will do. But we'll do that and also look to the future and not to the past. I feel like Donald Trump and Chris Christie want to go back. Do you have that feeling? Yeah. They've got some sort of feeling of what it used to be like. I have a sense of what they're saying, even though they're not saying it. You with me? They want to go back to sort of The good old days. So listen, there's some things I'd like to go back and get. I'd like to have a AAA bond rating again in New Jersey. I'd like to have a low unemployment rate. Right? I'd like to have presidents like Kennedy and Johnson who were signing the Civil Rights and Fair Housing and Voting Rights Acts. Things like that. There are things in the past I want to go back to, but I will tell you, I'll put my NAACP hat back on. We're not sitting around that board next Saturday talking nostalgically about 1955, right? We need to go to a place that we've never been before. That's the order of business for all of us. We need to take some good things we used to have and take us to a place where all 9 million of us look around and say, you know what, this is the way it should be. This is the way it was meant to be. I grew up with nothing. My dad didn't get out of high school. My mom did. She made sure we got educated. He made sure we cared about politics in the community. And the fact of the matter is, we had not 2 nickels to rub together. I think back to when I was 10 years old, 1967. Hard to believe that, I'm 59. Notwithstanding having no money at all, you felt like in John Kennedy's America and Lyndon Johnson's America, if you worked hard, you stayed in school, you got good grades, you stayed out of trouble, you were going to do better than mom and dad. Right? That was kind of part of the deal. Well, if you were to say to me, what's the one singular reason you're up here running for governor, is that same deal isn't true today for that little 10-year-old kid that I was, whose family is hanging in the middle class by a thread. Or maybe they're working poor, as we were. Or maybe they're struggling to even get their hands on that poverty line. This is America. This is a time and a place when that 10-year-old, no matter what their circumstances, gets the good education, has that shot to go all the way to the top, just because he or she is an American. People say to me, hey, you were successful, how come? I said, I worked hard, but boy, did I get lucky. And the biggest piece of luck I have, and we have to get back to, is I was born in the United States of America. Right? We got to get back to saying, you know what, that's a good thing. That's something we're proud of. This is a great country. We're all Americans. Let's have a country and a state where it works for all of us. In our case, all 9 million of us. God bless you all. Thank you so much for hearing me out. I want to introduce the mayor.